Are you ready to go around the world? Sit back, relax, and buckle your seatbelt as we take off for an adventure. It's jet-lag-free but filled full of fun and travel insights. The only thing you'll need to pack is a sense of humor. Time for the award-winning travel show, Around the World.
Well, welcome, Globetrotters and armchair travelers, to another edition of Around the World. I'm Arthur von Wiesenberger. Thanks for tuning in. And with me is the beautiful, stunning, and gorgeous Arthur von Wiesenberger. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Martha Bull is here. Hello, Martha.
Very funny.
Fresh in from Nashville. She is
right.
tapping her toes since the moment she arrived. But, of course, that's her friends from Nashville calling her saying, come back to Nashville.
Right.
We're going to be going to Nashville in a little while. And, boy, we're going to go all over the globe today. We're going to, first off, go to Switzerland. You're going to find out about the most incredible association of hotels in the entire part of Switzerland called the Swiss Deluxe Hotels. And we're going to be speaking with the managing director in just a few minutes. And you're going to really want to go to Switzerland. Like, book your ticket right now. We're eating chocolates just to get in the mood. And then, if that isn't enough, we're going to get on bicycles and we're going to cruise with Kat and Pat Patterson all around Cuba. Can you imagine?
No.
And bicycles?
No.
I mean, their infrastructure is falling apart. There's got to be more
That probably
potholes.
is an easier way to get around than
I want a very extra soft seat for that trip. John K. Grande, a friend of mine who I went to school with in Switzerland, speaking of Switzerland, is now one of the top authors of art and sculpture. And he's got a new book that's come out, and we're going to be speaking with him in a little while, which is, I think, going to be exciting, because I haven't talked to him in probably, well, since I was in high school. Which is at least 10 years ago, right? Something like that. And if that's not enough, let's talk about the California Avocado Festival, which is coming up in Carpinteria, California, the weekend of 5, 6, 7 of October.
And it is the most fun.
It is the ultimate guacamole experience.
If you like avocados, you don't want to miss it.
Who doesn't like avocados? It's my favorite.
And you're a judge.
And I will be a judge.
And they get to judge these huge avocados that are like, what, 5 pounds?
Well, we get to buy those. We don't judge them, we buy them. But there's even going to be some other exciting things about that festival we're going to tell you all about in just a little while. But that wraps it up for the introduction.
Wait, Nashville. I'm taking you to Nashville.
Well, I already told you about Nashville.
Well, I need to talk about it some more because I had such a good time.
All right. But you know what? Let's start off right from the very top. And this is truly the top. It's as good as it gets. It's 5-star plus. As far as hotels go, it's the Swiss Deluxe Hotels. And we have a fabulous video, which we're going to show you right now.
Welcome to the world of Swiss Deluxe Hotels. More than 40 luxury 5-star hotels at the most iconic places in Switzerland. The history of Swiss luxury hotels is about the visionary ideas and passion of the famous pioneers of tourism and the hotel industry. For some 180 years, innovation, quality, and uncompromising service to the luxury traveler have been the cornerstones for the highest standard in hospitality. An impressive economic power in terms of the number of hotels, overnight stays, rooms, beds, and revenues. An incredible number of employees guarantee your comfort and well-being. The aim of perfection of the Swiss Deluxe hotels is also clearly reflected by their passion for creating the most outstanding gourmet experiences, as evidenced by the countless prestigious awards, Michelin stars, and Continental points held by the numerous top restaurants. The beautiful spa and wellness facilities offer an unforgettable, relaxing experience for your body and soul. From pools, jacuzzis, steam baths, saunas, and individual body, skin, and facial treatments, you will be pampered in an incomparable way. Even for medical treatments, advice, and rehabilitation, Swiss Deluxe hotels offer a broad range of services. Switzerland, the home of winter sports, hiking, and many other outdoor sports and activities, invite you to explore nature and your personal physical horizon. Swiss Deluxe hotels are perfect home bases for all kinds of sports and fun.
"22 Swiss destinations." Aren't you tempted to go there like right now?
Yeah,
To book a
absolutely.
flight this evening?
I love Switzerland.
But you saw some of our favorite hotels there too.
Yeah,
the ones ones you've been to before and ones I've been to, and yet there's so many more I want to discover. Well, we're very lucky to have the managing director of Swiss Deluxe Hotels joining us now, Siro Barino, who's in Zurich. I guess you're in Zurich, aren't you, today?
I am in Zurich, at the beautiful lake of Zurich. You won't see much because at the time now, since we're live, it's quite dark outside.
Yeah,
Well,
it's nighttime.
You're a great sport to be up this late to join us on Around the World. We appreciate it, Siro. And we had a great pleasure of meeting one another at an event down in Beverly Hills put on by MySwitzerland.com, the Swiss National Tourist Agency, and Swiss Deluxe Hotels. And I had a chance to see this video, which was great. Beautiful job. A beautiful job. And I guess it matches what you have, which are 40 of the best hotels, if not in the world, certainly in Switzerland.
Well, you can probably say also in the world to a certain extent. I mean, there's many beautiful hotels in the world, no doubt about it. But I mean, these hotels were founded like 170 years ago. They are the oldest luxury hotels to a certain extent, but refurbished to the most modern infrastructure that you can imagine. So we spend like $300 million dollars per year into the quality of these hotels that have a fantastic history and located, as you said, in the most iconic, beautiful locations in Switzerland.
And they're all over the country.
All over Switzerland.
They're all over.
22 destinations. And you have city and resort hotels. What's the difference between the city and resort hotel?
Well, normally the amazing thing is that the U.S. market is number one of the external markets right now. It has been growing an increase of 12.4% last year. So the United States, you really feel the underlying economic situation present in the United States with a strong visitors coming from the U.S. And you see the affinity of five-star hotels in this market. And so the difference, what they are looking, they normally come and maybe they stay for a week. Some visit Europe and they stay for 4 or 5 days. So you normally fly into Zurich or Geneva from the States, wherever you are coming from. You have Swiss flights from New York, from San Francisco, from Los Angeles, from all over the place. And then you probably stay in Zurich, for example, in one of our city hotels. And even there we have a difference between city and resort. So we have the Borlack in Zurich, the iconic hotel at the Bahnhofstrasse, main shopping street, or the Vigil Hotel, a more boutique hotel, or the Edenolac, and then the Dolde Grand, 4 5-star hotels in Zurich. Dolde Grand is more like a resort. It's spacier. It has a 4,000 square meter spa where you can swim and overlooking the whole lake of Zurich and everything. And the city hotel is more in the middle of the town, and therefore, for a one-day night stay or two, it's perfect if you want to have a shopping experience. And then normally you go out maybe with the glacier train. You go to St. Moritz, for example. You spend the travel itself is already a fantastic experience of Switzerland, because with these big windows on these trains, you see the mountains, you see the glaciers, you see the nature. That is fantastic. This trip to St. Moritz, for example, and then you stay in the resort in St. Moritz, and then you can go on and on. You can go to Andermatt, the Italian part of Switzerland, to Geneva.
So many.
You can fly back from Geneva, and so forth.
Wow, it's amazing. Now, people want to know about Swiss Deluxe Hotels. You have a great website, which is SwissDeluxeHotels.com. That's DELUXE for the deluxe part of it, .com. You can also download a PDF of this brochure, which is a terrific brochure that lists all the hotels and all their features. And some of them have, as Siro just mentioned, some have spas, most have top class restaurants, some beautiful food. There's art in some of these restaurants, like you mentioned the one up on what was that one that was in Zurich? The famous one with all the art in Zurich. It's the
Dolde Grand.
Dolde Grand, yeah, Dolde Grand, yeah.
The art, and we have Heiko Nied, the chef. He has rated now 18 points and has Michelin. We have many restaurants with Michelin stars. The quotation. We have like 32 Michelin stars in our 160 restaurants. The good thing about the quality brands, Swiss Deluxe Hotels, independently, in which city you go, in which resort, in which countryside, you can know that you have the highest quality standards within these hotels. And so the gourmet side comes with it. So many chefs, international top stars, the rock stars of the cuisine, they choose to come into a Swiss Deluxe hotel to have their own restaurant within the hotel, because they have just a genuine combination of guests being there, pretending, wanting high quality, and so they have an infrastructure that comes with it. And at the same time, the hotel profits from these top stars being present in our hotel. So that's a win-win situation, and very, very cool for the guests.
It's a good
Siro,
draw.
I can't tell you, it's so exciting, and I want to have you back on. We're actually run out of time. Time goes way too fast when you talk about your favorite stuff. But will you come back on another time and tell us more about some of the wonderful hotels within the group, and we can learn more about this incredible organization you've got? We would love that. And
Of course, anytime.
Great. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today on Around the World. Again, remember, it's SwissDeluxeHotels.com if you want to check it out. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to be going into Guacamole Land next.
Yay.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back. And welcome back to
Yeah.
Around the World. And did you bring your bike with you, by the way?
I did not bring my bike, but I think that there's some people in the studio that did.
Yeah, indeed there are. And in fact, this is a very exciting thought because I've never thought about riding a bicycle in a third worldish kind of country. But
No.
these folks have done it and they've lived to talk about it. Welcome, Kat and Pat Patterson. Hi, guys. Welcome
Arthur.
Hi.
Around the
Hi.
World. It's so good to have you in studio with us.
Well,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
And you didn't ride your bike here because we got nice roads,
I
but
wanted to.
you did in Cuba.
Yes.
Now, tell me, what would make someone want to bring a bicycle to Cuba, and how'd you do it?
Crazy. We flew on Cubana Airlines, which was an old Yak Russian aircraft. We did the sneak in, sneak out thing back then.
In 2005.
Got it,
05.
okay.
Because you couldn't, there was no legal way for an individual to go. They still had groups that could go and doctors or lawyers,
Humanitarian stuff like
but
that.
not individually.
Not bicyclists. There wasn't a special category.
Yeah,
No.
they didn't. They do now. A lot of people go cycling there.
And we wanted to cycle in Cuba, well, all over the world, because that's how you really get to know the people. And you really get to know the culture and see things up close and personal.
What did the Cubans think when you arrived with these two bicycles from the United States?
First, they probably thought we were Germans because there are
There's
a
a
lot
lot
of
Germans will do that.
a lot of Europeans
A lot
there.
of Europeans go there.
Right.
A lot of Europeans. And we saw some other people on bike, not too many.
Mm-hmm.
In our travels all over the world, there are lots of people that travel by bicycle. So, we're not unique.
Right.
However, it is different.
So did you have big saddlebags with all your stuff on it? I mean,
Yeah.
you're moving how long were you away for?
4 years.
4 years,
Yeah, 4 years worth of stuff?
57 countries,
Yeah.
Wow.
17 in Africa
Wow.
on our own.
So you literally left and were gone for 4 years?
We owned a real estate business in Oxnard.
Yeah.
And we sold the business and we rented our house, sold our cars, and just said goodbye and took off.
It's
And
living the dream, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Wow.
Kind
It
of.
was,
It's like that, remember that movie where the guy sold everything and he went in an RV with his wife? And
Yeah.
they stopped in Las Vegas and
but
lost
didn't
everything?
they get divorced?
Yeah,
But you did fine.
they lost
Yeah,
all their
we
money
did
in
fine.
Yeah.
Las
In
Vegas.
Las Vegas.
We
You
went
managed to
north.
avoid
we,
Las
we
Vegas.
avoided Las Vegas.
Now the question I have, that's 4 years together. Were there, there's obviously happy times, but there could be a little tension being together 4 years together.
Luckily, we're a good combination.
Don't answer that.
There's, travel.
Yeah.
Any
best
kind of
thing
travel
for
is,
relationships.
but it's
find
stressful. It can
Right,
be stressful. So
Well-
there is stress in everything, but being together like that, and especially being on bikes, I don't know. It made
Well,
us
we had a
closer.
company for 10 years, and we worked together every day.
Right.
So
So we were used
kind
to
of
it.
used to it.
Anything scary
Yeah.
happen while you're in Cuba on your bicycle?
Not
in Cuba.
It was
No,
all
Cuba.
safe and sound?
Cuba. There is no crime in Cuba.
Did you
It
go
is
all
so
around the
safe.
islands? I mean, it's a big.
Actually,
big
we
island.
came up the middle of the island.
When we cycled
Yeah.
in 2005, we just
Right.
cycled right up the
There's
middle.
a picture up right now of our bikes fully loaded with the bags. That was on the sands of Zanzibar in Africa.
Oh, okay. Because we were talking. You've got this other one, African Dream, which
Yeah,
is a book that talks about your adventures.
And
through
nothing
Africa.
scared. Nobody wanted us. Our family said, "Please don't go to
We're
Africa."
finally in Cuba.
But
there it is.
There you go.
we had to go to Africa. It's part of the world.
Sure.
And nothing bad happened. We
Mm-hmm.
were a little nervous about it. Crossing on that ferry from Spain, going over and seeing it. Was a little intimidating. But once we got there, everyone was just warm and welcoming, and it was.
It was
amazing.
actually
It was
Africa
amazing.
that brought us to Cuba because in Africa we began to see T-shirts with Che Guevara on them and posters, but nothing of Fidel. And we're wondering, what's this about? Then we had a real lesson when we got to South America. We started in Ushuaia, is the southernmost city in the world, I think, and cycled into, I can't remember the name of the town, but it's where Che Guevara was actually born. We thought he was a Cuban. No, he's Argentinian.
Yep, I knew that.
And we went to the little museum there, and we found that during his school years, he rode a bicycle. He did ride a motorcycle diaries, pretty much known by everyone, but he rode a bicycle first up into Bolivia, which sort of set his his mindset to how poor people were. It's really true. When we were there, it's still poor.
Yeah.
If you're on the road and out away from the big cities and things, it's pretty poor in South America. But we did meet some trouble in Peru.
Really? Huh.
Oh,
No.
nice.
Yeah, we got robbed at gunpoint.
Wow.
And they
Did they
took-
take the bikes too?
They wanted the bikes,
tried.
but the little guys that robbed us were so short they couldn't get on them, and so they just started ripping the bags off. So they got half of our stuff. So we had to stay put for a little while, and got everything else sent back and
Replaced.
And then we went on,
But you, it didn't take your spirit away.
not too much. I did have a little PTSD there for a couple days. I was a
Sure.
little,
Well,
but I got through it.
They didn't get our camera. They got our computer. And they got mostly Catherine's clothing.
Yeah.
So she had to go shopping wearing my clothes, which was kind of funny.
That was worth a picture or two.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, we were really lucky they didn't get our passports, they didn't get our
Okay.
medicines or money or any of that stuff. So,
Were you staying in hotels along the way?
Pretty much, yeah.
well,
Any camping
in-
at all?
We camped if we had to or wanted to.
Yeah.
Didn't have to that much and hardly ever wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you
We
bring a
s-
tent?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
We
Yeah, we were
stayed in
prepared.
everything from gas stations and prayer rugs, wherever we could find. Sometimes we had to put our tent up inside of a building because of all the bugs and stuff. So we did it all.
What was your favorite place?
Well, we have to say Africa was our favorite as far as
Yeah.
diversity.
France,
and,
of course.
We love France because we love
Wine,
wine, and,
food.
Sure.
and cycling in Europe is
Super
so
easy.
easy.
So-
It's so beautiful and
It's
so
wonderful,
wonderful. And this was a challenge, so
How far down into Africa did you go?
all the way to Cape Town. We started in Morocco and we came down half the
Impressed.
west coast, and then we went across. We skipped the Congo. We skipped, some of the countries that were definitely
Sketchy.
more dangerous.
Right.
Wow.
And then we went over to Kenya, and then just cycled all the way
Did you
down.
choose the time of year so that it wouldn't be no?
No, it was part of our around the world, so it's whenever we got there.
We thought we were much stronger than we were and faster, and so we got to Cape Town, and it was winter time in the south, and we came across to South America, and it was like 50 below. We actually had planned to go to the Antarctica, but
I was wondering if you were going to hit all
50
the
below
continents.
said,
Oh, yeah.
no, we can't do that.
Frozen tires, no thanks.
Yeah.
No.
Now you're going to be at REI. Tell us, I know you're doing an event there coming up. Can you tell us about that?
It's Sunday, October
No,
4th.
November 4th.
November 4th, excuse me. I told you you'd have to remind me. Sunday, November 4th, it's 6:30 p.m. at the REI store. They have a little setup in the back. They do classes, and we're one of the classes.
That's great. And
It's-
will you have your new book then?
It
Yes.
absolutely will be there. Second edition. of
Second
this.
edition of Cuba and
Additional 50 pages with pictures and the how-to to travel to Cuba, because it's much easier than
Than
most
it used to
people
be.
think. Yeah.
Certainly. And they might get an autographed copy if they play their cards right.
Of
Do you
course.
both autograph books?
Oh,
or
yes.
it's a
You've got
team
your
effort?
autograph copy right there.
I've
yes.
got the African book and I can't wait. Look at that. That's fantastic.
Yay.
That's
it's
really fun.
fun.
Now, you have a website that people want to know more about
We
your
do.
travels?
It's called worldriders2.com, WORLDRIDERS and the number 2.com. Or you can go to bicyclingbeyondboundaries.com, all one word.
Right. And what's on the horizon? Where's the next place with your bikes?
Well, we're contemplating. We take different trips now. We've just mentioned to some folks you're going to have here soon, the Avocado Festival guys, that we now take the train, like we go up to San Luis Obispo, then cycle back. And instead of 60, 70, 80 miles, we do 25, 30 miles per day. But
Yeah.
that's
It's about
it's a new
25
life.
miles more than I do in a day.
Well, we just did the Florida Keys
Yes.
in April.
would love
after,
that.
Yeah, after Cuba, then we came back, had our bike shipped to Florida, and then we cycled along the Keys. And
We
then,
cycled
so I'm not sure.
Savannah, Georgia to Charleston, South Carolina.
Yeah.
Glad you didn't go last month.
Yeah, timing is
I
everything.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is really exciting. Will you guys come back and tell us more about your travels?
Yeah.
Because the 10 minutes is never enough time, and you've gone so many places.
We have
and spent so much
57
time.
countries we can talk about.
Oh, yeah.
So-
We
Well,
definitely
we want you back, okay?
Okay.
And thanks so much for coming today. Good luck
Thank
with
you.
your new book, and thank you so much for African Dream, which I'm going to read tonight. We're going to take a break. When we come back, guacamole's on the horizon, I think. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Every morning you could count on it being there with the rise of the sun. We're proud to say we've been there every day with you. The Santa Barbara News Press plans to continue sharing the news of the day with you all through the year and beyond. It's nice to know there are some things you can still count on. The Santa Barbara News Press, serving Santa Barbara since 1855.
Smile. Look at that smile.
Well,
She's
because
smiling
the
from ear to ear.
Avocado Festival is right around
Is
the
that
corner.
not one of our most favorite
Yes.
festivals that takes place
Yes.
in the Western United States, if not the
Yes.
entire known universe?
It's the best.
This is the event. If you don't go to any other event the entire year, you got to go to the California Avocado Festival in Carpinteria. It is coming up next weekend,
Yep.
and you can find out all about it at avofest.com if you want to read about the details. But better than that, we got the people who make it all happen right here with us. We got Renee and Anthony. Hello, avocado people. You don't even look like avocados, but I'm green with envy. What can I
There
say?
we go. As long as it's avocado green.
It is, and that is a different green, isn't it? It's a little bit
A little
different.
bit, yeah.
Now, I know you had the unveiling of the new poster for this year. It was a big deal, and I saw it on Facebook, and it looks really, really great. But this is what we're talking about. This is the magic fruit, which most people don't realize. It's a fruit. And it happens to grow, a lot of them, around your part of the neck of the woods, right?
Yes.
Carpinteria.
Well, the best are from Carpinteria.
Between this and marijuana, you got it world covered. You smoke
At
the
least
marijuana, then you want to eat a lot of these.
This doesn't smell like marijuana.
No,
does
but boy, these you can do so many things with, and that's what the Avocado Festival seems to present: is how many different ways you can enjoy an avocado.
Yes.
Tell me some of the things you're going to have this year. What are some of the things that we expect?
Well, we have we have 2 new foods this year, which is kind of cool.
Uh-huh.
The Boy Scouts are going to have an avocado tart, which is pretty good. I've seen avocado pies before, some avocado cheesecake, so an avocado tart. You know, just
love that.
The fats in the avocado really carry flavor so nicely, so that should be really great for the Boy Scouts.
Yeah.
And then
Have you heard about the avocado barbecued avocado now? That's the new thing, where they gently sear
They
it.
sear it.
Uh-huh.
Really?
Yeah, I still like it
There's another
fried.
Do you like it fried?
Oh, deep fried avocado is,
Oh, I
yeah.
never
And you know the
tried.
hippest dish everywhere in the U.S. is avocado toast. I mean, when did that come about? I've always had avocado and I've always had toast. I didn't realize they belonged together.
Yeah,
But
I usually spread my avocado on toast, but I guess if you're going gluten-free, it's perfect.
yeah.
And you
Well,
squeeze a
then you
little
hold the toast.
lemon on it.
Yes.
Oh yeah, and salt and
Little
pepper, of
salt
course.
and pepper,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay, so you've got the Boy Scout, and what was the other one?
And a new one is it's a pizza margarita, and that's going to be with the which organization is that?
The Carpinteria Family School is going to get those from Giovanni's this year.
So slices, are they going to be
Well,
baked
it's
on
pizza
it?
margarita with sliced avocado, and then it's going to be. No,
And
it's an avocado.
It's
avocado
a
sauce.
margarita pizza with avocado sauce.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I'm dying to taste it.
Yeah,
and
because
the
that would be
tarts too,
basically
but-
guacamole sauce, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, which
Or
is, of course, that's
I like
one
a
of the
creamy
events
sauce.
I absolutely adore. It's your guacamole competition where people around all over the county enter their incredible creations, and there is some real creativity because they're not all the same. I mean, I've never seen how much variety there can be in something that we call guacamole.
I know.
You can go from spicy to salty to
Very
sweet
creamy.
to creamy to chunky.
How do you enter that?
So if you want to enter, you can actually go on the website now under contests, and you can fill it out now up until next Friday, and then you can actually just show up at the festival at 10 a.m. and bring at least a quart of it and fill out the paperwork, and you're set.
And there's also the presentation
Yeah,
of it too.
presentation.
Yes.
So you've got two
There's
things you're entering.
There's 2 things you're entering. You're doing either the taste and texture or a presentation, which there's been some pretty entertaining.
Very clever.
She's a little chef. I might mention that. Can we talk you into doing something?
Can you do? Well, you want to enter?
I think it would be so exciting. I'd enter if I wasn't judging it.
Right?
That's right.
Yeah, because I love guacamole and I eat it kind of religiously.
Yeah.
Yeah. Domini,
yes.
Domini, Domini. And then you've got incredible music, of course. That's people don't realize it's like the entire city becomes a rock and roll country music festival.
It's almost can't decide whether it's a food festival or a music festival or a craft festival. I mean, it's just nonstop music for the whole festival. We have the 3 stages going on all the time.
And
Plus,
our kids stage is
yes.
actually completely filled this year
Yeah.
with great acts.
Yeah.
Kids do the darndest things, don't
They
they?
do.
Or they say them.
Well, it's like the bands that are playing on the kids stage. Some of them are really incredible. Like you're sitting there and you're like, oh wow. So I should say we should have 4. We have 4 stages, not 3. So.
Right.
Now, getting there, I know that Carpinteria is not large, so parking can be an issue. Although somehow you can usually tuck your car in somewhere. But the key is to take if you park in Santa Barbara, take the train down to Carpinteria, and hop
Yes, you
off,
can.
and
Yep.
you just walk right up Linden.
And the same with Ventura
Right.
as well. Yeah. The train is an amazing way to go. You can put your bike on the train and the busing, MTD busing as well.
Going back to the Avocado Festival, who are your judges this year? I mean, besides yours truly.
Besides yours truly, well, we have the amazing John Palmentary and Drew Wakefield. They're going to be judging and emceeing.
Well, Andrew is the MC par excellence, as is John. I mean, that's terrific. Okay, so I'll keep everybody on their toes.
We have Dave Derflinger, the city manager, Alan Parsons.
Oh, but Alan's coming again. Great. Maybe we can get him to play on the stage.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
Rebecca Brand will be
Oh,
there.
Rebecca Brand, who happens to be a co-host of Around the World.
Exactly.
And then we have our Carson Peterson, who is actually on the Junior Top Chef show, is going to be joining us as well. And Tony from Los Arroyos.
Oh,
Is
great.
going to
knows
be a new
about
guy. And we have a few more in the works.
Terrific. Oh, it's always a lot
I
of
know
fun.
Gabe Saglia has done it in the past.
Yeah.
He
He's
has, I know. I
And
hope
it's
he
always fun to
does.
go
I
and
know
watch
it's to
that event because you have a chance to not only watch it, and there's some things you can bid on there, as I recall. There's always a few avocados that I have to fight Gary Dobbins over. He always outbids me. He's
big
so
giant
rich,
avocado.
Gary.
Big job
He's so
at giant
rich.
avocados, and the nice thing about that is that the money goes to the local FFA, so the Carpinteria.
It all goes to a
FFA.
good cause,
Yes,
doesn't
it
it?
does.
And the thing I've discovered about the Avocado Festival is you guys have avocados down there that you can't get, and the types of avocados you can't get anywhere else. They're not just Haas, they're not just Fuerte, but they are like, it's, that you have a great tent that set up that shows all the various ones. You guys have the best avocados down there. If you want avocados, that's where you need to
It
get them.
is.
Yeah. Oh, and let's
yes.
talk about this beverage that you have here, as you've been sipping away at.
Speaking of avocados.
We'll just bring it up. Speaking
So
of
Pacific
avocados.
Beverage is one of our large sponsors, and they started distributing for Rincon Brew, and Rincon Brew made a special beer this year, and it's made with avocado pits, and has all the great things about a beer. So they will be having this beer down there. It'll be one of the beers that we're serving is our avocado ale from Rincon Brew.
But it's not the
Yes.
pits.
It is not
It's
the
very
pits.
good.
Everything.
You've
but-
tasted it,
Not
huh?
the pits.
I have not
You have
tasted
not
this
tasted
yet.
it yet. Well, wait a second.
Yay.
We know what we're going to be doing after the show's over. That is so much
And the
fun.
craft part of it is really fun. We discovered an artist a number of years ago. She had like Halloween things and Christmassy things, and we ended up going to her Thousand Oaks place and buying a bunch of stuff. So you can find a lot of really fun stuff there.
Yeah,
and the
you
food's
can.
good. It's a diverse. I mean, you can get Chinese, you can get barbecue, you can get, and of course, avocado ice cream.
Avocado
Oh,
ice cream.
yeah. And I know last year there was some chocolates or avocado flavored chocolates. I don't know if chocolate Calabrese.
It's their oh god, yeah. There's an ad
It's
there.
their
Look up that.
delicious
Very
chocolates.
Is it
delicious,
Robitaille or no?
No,
No,
it's
it's
chocolates of Calabrese.
yeah.
Oh, of course.
Which is-
oh,
Michelle
that
has
would
it,
be
yeah.
really
Yeah,
good.
Michelle,
yeah, it's so good.
And Jill, they do such a great job
Yeah.
over there. And they're
Jill.
a Carpinteria-based company.
They
aren't
are,
Yes.
yeah.
And then Carpinteria High School always has the cheerleaders that make the avocado. The
Yeah, the
guacamole.
largest
Large,
vat of avocados. Guacamole.
That's
Yeah.
it, yeah.
You go.
And they make it all weekend long, and it's
It's amazing watching. I mean, and to see just the pallets coming in full of avocados, and they're making it right there, and you see them just pushing it together, and then you see a huge, gigantic vat of guacamole, and then you see them refilling it again. So it's a lot of guacamole going around there, that's for sure.
I love it.
So just to refresh all of our viewers and listeners, it starts on Friday.
Yes, it does.
What time?
1 p.m.
1 p.m. Okay, so 1 p.m. Get down there. You can be the first to dip into some of this wonderful avocado.
And we do have a shuttle service too as well, so you can park in the Carpinteria High School, and then we shuttle back and
That's
forth.
easy.
So you don't have to worry about going back and forth to the or trying to find a parking
Right.
space or trying to steal somebody's driveway.
Right. that is an issue there.
And then on Saturday, what time does it start?
10 a.m.
10. And same on Sunday?
Sunday starts at 10
10 a.m.
a.m.
as well.
But we close by 6 on Sunday.
Okay, so
we
Close
can
earlier.
restore order in Carpinteria for Monday morning.
Yeah.
Because you do close all of Linden.
We do. The whole, I mean, Linden's all closed down, which is great for that. The train's so great because you stop at Linden Station and you just walk right
out.
into the festival.
You're into it, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great idea.
It really is amazing. I mean, we're a green festival as far as being avocado, but also all of our waste. We keeping it clean, the whole thing. All of our E.J. Harrison is diverting a lot of the waste, so we're not creating trash. We're creating composted material or recycled material.
Feed to the chickens
Yeah.
or something.
Fantastic.
Yay.
Well, Renee and Anthony, guys, thanks so much for coming. And for all of you, check it out. avofest.com, the place to go and get warmed up for these little
Oh
beauties.
yeah, and I was going to show you
And,
that.
and this
There's
little
the
beauty.
poster.
There it is. All righty.
Yay.
And we'll be back. We're going to be traveling here on Around the World. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Around the World. I'm Martha von Wiesenberger. Still with Martha Bull.
I'm still here.
She hasn't slapped me this show yet. You've been very well behaved so far.
Well, apparently you have
Oh, I
too.
guess I have. I haven't done anything naughty yet. Well, we might get naughty soon. We're talking about outdoor sculptures and things like that, which can get kind of exciting.
That could do it.
And speaking of exciting, I'm excited because one of my dear oldest friends, I haven't talked to him in years, is on the phone right now, John K. Grande. Hello, John.
Hi.
It's-
Hi, Nipper.
it's so
and,
good.
A lot of our experience in Switzerland was a great inspiration for my getting involved with art ecology. You know?
I was fascinated to see where life had taken you because, when we were all in high school, we're kind of going every which way. I think we were just looking at girls back then. But now...
Yeah.
Yeah. She finally hit me. I was waiting for her to hit me. But I've seen you've been an author. You've done so many fascinating, beautiful books on art, and the newest one, which is called Art, Space, and Ecology. So tell me, what does that encompass? I mean, you've pretty much covered the world, but tell me what that means.
Well, it's sort of something that follows on from my other books. Balance Art and Nature was the first I did, in about 92. And Claude Lévi-Strauss, the anthropologist, wrote me to say he really appreciated it. And I had been writing for Art Forum in New York and other magazines, and I felt that nature needed to be defended in the contemporary art world. A lot of the work was conceptual, and I was saying, hey, wait a minute, nature's always been part of human culture. Let's try and bring it back together instead of the postmodernist kind of conceptual diatribe. I wanted to say nature is part of contemporary art, and I followed it through. I curated many earth art shows at the Royal Botanical Gardens in Canada and on the West Coast and in Europe, with Peter Seltz from Berkeley, one at Pori Art Museum. Anyway.
Well, explain to me, are you saying that you use things from nature, or is it more you're recreating things in your artwork that's nature, or how is that?
Well, it's not generally art in museums. It's usually I hire artists, a group of artists to make works on site. And more recently, I've been involved in publishing. Why? Because it's a form of education and getting the word out, Mm-hmm. So in the new book, I have a performance artist, Paul Walda, who did a concert on a glacier that's melting in the Purcell Mountains of British Columbia. I had Jason DeCaries Taylor, who has 2 underwater sculpture parks, one near Cancun, Mexico, and the new one is in Lanzarote, Canary Islands. And people can scuba dive among the sculptures and so on. It's lots of fun. But the sculptures also are cast from migrants who've arrived on Lanzarote and local people, and they're made from pH-neutral cement, so they can generate coral and undersea life, which is great. And then there are many, many other artists. I traveled all over. I have Milos Spain from Czech Republic, who built a solar mountain with healing stones underneath. And this has become like a park. And Jan Erik Andersson from Finland, who created all kinds of things. A collaborative house made by many artists called Life on a Leaf, and it was based on a short story by Strindberg. He also created a cow barn with a viewing area for the cows to look at the stars at night, and playing various kinds of music for the cows and so on. He's quite a character.
Happy cows.
Wow, that would
They
make some good milk.
I was going to say they probably produce a lot of good milk.
Hey, John,
love it.
earlier we were talking with a friend from Switzerland about some of the Swiss deluxe hotels, and it kind of reminded me that in Switzerland there are some fascinating places where art is such a big part of the landscape. Like, for example, the Dolder Grande Hotel outside of Zurich has an incredible sculpture garden all around the hotel. I don't know if you've seen that, and if you have any thoughts about how sculpture with scenery go together, or don't go together.
Well, in America you have some good parks like Storm King in New York, upstate, and so on. And I think that art goes well with the landscape, and that artists can facilitate a landscape by being sensitive to it rather than just dropping a sculpture there. You know, and that work you're showing right now is by Chris Booth from New Zealand, who creates sculptures that are sort of like slow time release sculptures. The mushroom action in the wood causes the wood to slowly rot, and the form of the sculpture changes over 10 or 20 years. So he calls himself a mushroom sculptor, and that's from the Kröller-Müller Museum in Holland, right there. It's sort of the stone piece. Yeah.
What are your thoughts about artists like Christos?
Christo, well, I know Christo, and he was in one of my earlier books, and I loved his piece that he just did in London with the oil barrels floating. For him, it's a spectacle. It's not like, it's not permanent, it's a very temporary, sort of 2-week thing. And it's closer to theater, I think.
Well, certainly it was temporary when it was over the Highway 5, going up the Grapevine, because unfortunately a lot of his umbrellas got swept away.
Didn't he do a bunch of bras?
California. California Japan project. Yeah. Well, Christo, his wife was the great manager, Jean-Claude, and Christo was quite a shy guy, actually, and he stopped for a year or two, but after he got over that she passed away, and now, he's really right out there again producing work, and very much involved with environment. You could call Turner an environmental artist too, I guess.
Have you ever been to Suke outside of Santa Fe, where they pour bronze?
I haven't. No, I'd love to.
It's
At
beautiful.
some point, I'll come down there.
Yeah. It's because you
actually
get to watch them pour the art pieces, and then they often display the pieces out in this beautiful, massive lawn. It's very impressive.
Did you buy any?
No, they're huge.
I think that's isn't that a private collection? I believe it was commissioned.
I think it's a bunch of artists that pour there. They also have a glass blowing studio.
That sounds really interesting. But in my new book, the Harrisons from California are in, Newton and Helen Harrison, who worked with generating habitats and changing the ecology of areas where climate change is coming. You know, in Tibet they did a project, and in the Sierra Nevadas as well. This particular artist is Pilar Ovalle from Chile, who is great at working with wood, and she was in a show at the Kunsthal I curated called Small Gestures 2 years ago. The Chileans are exceptional at working with wood, and they have a long tradition in sculpture, and she is a good example of that. This work was called Pulso. It's like a heart. You go inside it, you know, it's a total environment, so on and so forth. But of course, America had great artists like Friedrich Kiesler, who designed Peggy Guggenheim's Art of the Century show in the early days in New York, and that was totally bio, curved walls and all that kind of thing. Yeah, that's Pilar selecting wood out in the southern Chilean natural place where she lives.
Wow.
Very cool.
John, if people want to pick up your book, is it available now online?
Well, I think it will be available in a week at Amazon, and all the websites have it. University of Chicago is distributing it, so it's very much available.
And the name of it is, again?
It's Art Space Ecology.
Got it.
Yeah, Art Space Ecology, and I really appreciate, and I hope we meet up again, Nipper.
I hope so. Come visit us in California, and we'll go look at some natural art around this neck of the woods. Really appreciate having you on, John. Thanks for taking the time today.
Thank you. There is a guy who did a hummingbird sculpture in near San Francisco, which is an environment to attract hummingbirds. He's quite amazing, too. Anyway, thanks a lot.
All righty. All the best. Take care.
Nice talking to you.
Yeah, take care.
All right. Bye now. Well, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, it's time for Nashville. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
That's what we got to hear when we were in Nashville. That and a whole lot of other bands.
So is that like country music?
Yeah.
Basically?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a country music environment, right?
That was actually at Blake Shelton's place. Blake Shelton has a place in Nashville. Jason Aldean probably has in my opinion, the nicest nightclub. Now, they have this whole street called Broadway, and that's where everybody converges. And they have all sorts of nightclubs, like honky tonks, and they have really nice ones, and they have ones that you can go for dinner or you can go for drinks, and they're stacked up. Like Jason Aldean's place is, I think, 4 or 5 stories high. Beautiful views of Nashville, the twinkling stars and just the lights of the buildings, and on each floor, every other floor, there's a new and different band.
Wow.
So literally you can, and everywhere you go, you're walking down Broadway, and you look up, and there's a 5-story building, and there's a band playing in the front with their back to you all the way up. So I mean, it's just music everywhere. I mean, it's Music City. Music City.
Yeah.
And being the idiot that I am.
I wouldn't call you an idiot.
I didn't.
What are those?
That's me at the Westin with my friend Jana Price. We were sitting in these very cool chairs right there in the lobby. By the way, the Westin was a very nice hotel to stay in. It's downtown, right across the newly built or recently built convention center, which is huge. And a lot of hotels have sprung up all around it.
No, wait. What's this?
That is the rooftop pool at the Westin.
And was it warm enough to go swimming?
Absolutely. And it's like an infinity pool. So you swim out, and it's just like there's a wall of glass there, and you look out down to the city.
Not for someone who's afraid of heights, huh?
Yeah, it's definitely not for somebody that's afraid of heights. But it's so beautiful at night. Look at that pool. It's just gorgeous.
Wow.
Great bar. The interesting thing about
was the bar at the pool?
It's right inside from the bar,
No kidding.
from the pool.
Was it a swim bar?
No, it was not.
Oh.
But what's interesting is my friend and I ordered a drink one night, and we got the bill, and there was this huge tax on it.
Yeah.
And at first I thought, oh, well, that must just be the service and the tax included. So the next time we got a drink, I finally said to the guy, is your gratuity already included? He says, oh, no, that's the sin tax. They charge 24.5% on alcohol.
In Nashville?
In Tennessee.
No kidding?
Yep.
And they call it a sin tax?
And they call it well, I guess they.
Well, I'd be broke.
Yeah. But anyway.
Amazing. That's expensive.
Nashville is really booming. I've never been there. Going back to me being an idiot, I sort of thought Nashville was way across the country. But when I looked at the map when we were flying in, I realized that it's almost due south from Chicago. So you're in Chicago time zone. We arrived at the Nashville airport, which was nice, kind of big, small. But they're currently expanding it everywhere. It's going to be a huge airport, and for good reason. Apparently, there are between 50 and 100 people that are moving to Nashville every single day.
No kidding.
It
Wow.
is booming. Everywhere you look, there's construction going on. And I would describe it as kind of like a big little city, because as you look out from some of these tall buildings, there's a lot of green belt, there's a lot of low, older buildings, so you can look out and it's not just high rise after high rise after high rise. It's very charming, and there's some great areas. We actually took an Uber out to a shopping mall about 20 minutes from downtown, and the Uber driver took us through some of the nice neighborhoods, so you can see some old world Nashville homes. There's some really nice areas in Nashville. Also, interestingly enough, Nashville is now the #1 bachelorette city in the country. It used to be Vegas.
Yeah.
Now bachelorettes.
Oh,
go
they have
there.
their party there
That's where they
before
have
they
their
get
parties.
married? Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
And it's
Wow.
just fun. And as you well know, I mean, it's considered Music City. They have, for example, looking here, this is a music studio not very far from Vanderbilt University. We actually took a trolley tour. So you drive down these streets and you see all these little houses, and there, in those places, people like, Blake Shelton and Luke Bryan and Jason Aldean and, all the music people, including people like Michael Jackson and Elvis Presley, they all record in these studios. It's the biggest music producing city in the world, ahead of Los Angeles. And there are all these just small houses, and that's where most of our music is being produced.
Who knew?
Who knew?
You knew.
Well, I do now. I didn't know that then.
How about food?
Food.
Let's talk about.
The first, we actually were there for a wedding, for a friend's son's wedding, and it was beautiful. It was about 20 minutes outside of town. There was Sean and Whitney at the wedding. They had this beautiful house, beautiful, gorgeous lawn, and it was just magical.
Nice.
And they had one of the best bands ever for the dancing.
Yeah.
They had everybody out on the floor, and they were a cover band. They knew every kind of music from here to there, and they just had us going for hours. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
But also, I had never had fried green tomatoes because I thought it sort of sounded weird.
Like a movie.
And you know what? It's really good.
Is it?
I actually had it at the wedding, and then we had dinner the next night at a little place called, I think it was Kentucky Kitchen or something. Had to have them again. They're really good. It's just literally, and I looked it up. What are fried green tomatoes? Are they green tomatoes, or are they just not ripe tomatoes? Well, no. Some of them can be not ripe, and some of them can be heirloom green tomatoes.
Now, why would there be a restaurant called Kentucky in Tennessee? Unless
Oh,
it was
I'm
Kentucky
sorry.
Fried Chicken.
Nashville. Nashville
was it
Kitchen.
the Colonel's
Sorry,
place?
Nashville Kitchen. Sorry.
Oh, Nashville. Okay.
Which was fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's just a great place. Loved it. They have this is a little church that wasn't very far from our building. Just
Did you go on Sunday?
No.
No.
We actually flew out
Oh,
early.
yeah.
But-
Tell that to the man upstairs. Go on. Yeah.
He knows I was thinking about him. But they have one thing we didn't go to, but we got to see got to see from afar was the train station. They have railroad tracks going through main town, and they have this beautiful old style train station that they've converted into a hotel. So that literally the hotel rooms are look down into where people would normally go into the train station.
But the train station is no longer functioning.
I don't think it's any travelers. I think it's mostly cargo is what I saw. What we're looking at here right now is Broadway at night, and we got there Wednesday, so we went Wednesday and Thursday.
Is that
night
where
to
the
Broadway.
action is on Broadway?
Yeah, it's definitely where it happens. But by Friday night, the place was really packed, and we decided not to go down Saturday because it was just
too many bachelorettes.
Just too many people. Okay. But it was on my bucket list for so long, and I have to say that I was not at all disappointed.
Exceeded your expectations?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I just think, I love country music, so it was a treat to be there. And Florida Georgia Line has a new restaurant that they've just, and nightclubs that they just opened up. Kid Rock is opening a new one.
Too many.
What are you doing?
I'm just listening to you.
Why are you listening to me?
Because you're on Facebook too.
Okay.
And you're on everything.
I want to make sure I'm covering everything that I want.
She's covering everything. She does such a good
job. But I will
job.
say that if you're going to go, I would definitely take the trolley tour. As hokey as it is, it's really a nice 90 minutes where you can just check out. So this is from the top of our hotel right here, and see what I mean? It's not all high rises.
No.
But
if you're paying a big sin tax, you at least want to have a good view, right?
But I mean, if you think about it, in 5 years, that probably is not going to look the way it
really,
does
it's
now.
that much growth going on?
I think there's a lot of growth going on. And then they have this one area called the Gulch, which was probably about a 10-minute walk from our hotel, and that is a nice little area that's got some shopping, lots of restaurants, and that's definitely something that is fun. And you could do a John Deere tour. People will,
I love John Deere.
We passed this on the trolley as we were cruising around, and this guy's driving a John Deere tractor with people in the back drinking cocktails. And there was another one I didn't get a picture of, but it was really funny, where everybody has to pedal on this thing, a pedal to go forward, and then there's a kegger in the middle, so you can drink beer as you're pedaling and touring downtown Nashville.
Well, what about drinking and driving here? Was there? Doesn't matter, huh?
They've got the driver who's up there,
but
you're just
powering. You're just doing the power.
Yeah.
But I bet the thing slows down by about 2 hours.
About 3 beers later.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm thrilled that I went, and I would highly recommend it.
Well, thank you, Martha. That really is intriguing, and I can't believe it. It's time to cool our jets again.
I know.
Boy, we've been all over the globe today.
I'm exhausted.
I mean, some great guests. Siro, who was with Swiss Deluxe Hotels, really tempted our taste buds to go and eat and drink and spa around all the great Swiss hotels. Pat and Kat Patterson, the bicyclist par excellence. If you ever wanted to really get inspired, I mean, look at those folks.
I know.
There shows you there is hope.
Yep.
There is hope as we get older that you can still do wild, crazy things. Yep. John K. Grande, wonderful insights into art around the world and into the natural interaction of art and artists.
And then don't forget the Avocado Festival coming up.
And of course, yes, the Avocado Festival, which is
5th.
Starting October 5th. And make sure you stop by the Guacamole tent on Sunday, which is October the 7th. And I'll be there probably from 11:30 or 12 onwards. And come and have some guacamole with me, and maybe we'll go grab an avocado beer together. You're going to be there, right?
Yeah,
I hope. Okay.
Absolutely.
And what else? Did we miss anybody?
Nope.
That was everyone. Is that everybody?
Thank you to Michael Nicholson.
Well, wait. I'm going to get to them, but I just want to make sure we didn't miss any of our guests. No, we didn't.
We didn't.
Oh, wait. We missed a lovely girl who came on the show today and tempted us with sin. Tax. Martha Bull, you're the best. Thank you for all that good information. And yes, indeed, we want to thank our director, Michael Nicholson. Did a fabulous job, and Ken Baxter, Ken does just a super job editing this thing. So if you watch it on Facebook, watch it online, atw.tv. And we want to thank the folks at TVSB, Eric Davis, Hilba, and all the great folks that make this television station possible. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next time on Around the World.
Thank you for traveling with us today on Around the World. We hope you'll join us for another adventure next week. In the meantime, all of us at Around the World wish you happy trails.